Welcome back to Houston Life. KPRC 2 has partnered with Moody Gardens to highlight the health of coral reefs in the upcoming documentary Garden in the Gulf, a reef rescue mission.
Yeah, KPRC 2 Chief Meteorologist Anthony Yanez has been involved in this special project since July 2024 and even took a diving trip in the Gulf along with a dedicated team of marine conservationists. Anthony joins us now along with Jake Emmert, Moody Gardens Director of Marine Operations, with a preview of the documentary, which airs tomorrow night, 7 p.m. on KPRC 2. Guys, what a dream project. And Jake, I know this is sort of like your everyday. You're no stranger to diving. Talk to us about this documentary because it looks so beautiful, but there is a bigger mission here. It's really to promote awareness.
Right. So the Flower Gardens is 100 miles offshore, so it's really hard to be able to understand why it's so special. And so we have a good relationship with KPRC, and there was interest to go out and learn more about the work that we do. And really, we just want to be a part of the community and help provide resources so that people can do a good job learning why it's so valuable and then bringing those experiences back. So that was a natural fit for you guys, and we were happy to have you out.
We're getting some video footage from the documentary here. Anthony, we're used to you in front of the green screen.
Right.
You are underwater. What is this experience? What has this experience been like for you?
I mean, it was incredible. When Moody Gardens had this idea, I had the good fortune of being a certified scuba diver. So I'm like, I can do this. And then I had to get nitrox certified because we're going down on some of those dives to 100 feet.
Wow.
And we did that the night before for you.
Yeah.
Good job.
It was quick. And so this is called High Island 389. So it's an oil rig that was cut. The story is told on the air, but that's 70 feet deep and it goes all the way to 410. So that's me looking at that as a jellyfish, a friend of mine. I was going by, making sure I didn't touch. But it was really incredible to see the work that Moody Gardens does with NOAA, partnering with NOAA, to save the Gulf. What are we doing with our coral reefs? How do we conserve them? It's the healthiest reef in the world. And how do we help other reefs, especially what's going on with Florida with all their reefs dying out, their coral?
And Jake, there are a lot of misconceptions about the Gulf. How many times have you heard people say like, oh, the Gulf, the water, you know, I mean, we're seeing the beautiful blue water. The Gulf is teeming with life. So I guess my question is twofold. What's one of the biggest misconceptions about the Gulf? And secondly, why is the preservation of this reef so critical to the ecosystem?
I think that's a great question. So we're in the greater Houston area, so everybody knows Galveston. And when you think of it, you probably think of brown water. And that isn't always the case on nearshore, but when you go offshore, the beauty just emerges the further and further you get away. That's just the sediment coming from the Mississippi River. So we have a gym in our backyard and nobody knows it. And that's the best part is you have a place where you can see the largest fish in the sea, you can see whale sharks. I don't know if you saw any manta rays when you were out there. Sometimes they cruise by. So you have this spectacular place that serves as a model for one of the healthiest coral reefs on the planet. And that's incredibly valuable for us as we see impacts to other places. We have something to measure what healthy looks like. And then the second part of your question is, why does it matter to us? Well, red snapper, grouper, those other species that we like to eat and have on our plate are sustainable fisheries. And so the marine sanctuary system as a whole serves to help keep those fisheries intact for generations to come so that our kids and our families continue to have fresh food that's provided by our oceans.
Which is obviously critical for a number of reasons.
I mean, if you didn't have Texas pride already,
Right.
like, okay, wow, our reef, I mean, these are things that I didn't know about and they're happening right here. Anthony, you are going for a record of sorts. What is your attempt? What are you attempting to do?
So we worked this out. We practiced yesterday. So what we're going to do tomorrow night to promote the show at 4 o'clock and 5 o'clock, I'm actually in the tank at Moody Gardens. That's not the record, but do you see the blue line there?
Yes.
That blue line is an audio line. So what we did yesterday was we practiced hearing the station. And we practiced me talking so you can hear me. So we're going to do the weather live tomorrow at 4 and 5 o'clock on KPRC underwater while I'm in the Moody Gardens tank.
Are you kidding me?
So that's me right there. We're doing a little practice. And
How was practice? How did practice go?
It went great. We were in the water for an hour and 15 minutes, so it took a while because the problem at the beginning was I couldn't hear the station because you have
IFBs,
you're underwater.
am I right?
Underwater.
Yeah, there's like
So we
water
had-
in here.
So we had to turn up the volume, and that took a long time. And then they also had to hear me, and that took a while. But it's a full face mask, and it was another thing we did the day before, or actually a few hours before.
Anthony did fantastic.
I wonder
really
what
did.
fish are going to get their time in the spotlight with you there.
They all love hanging out, and one thing I learned is if you pick up the gravel, there are certain fish that like gravel baths. So you drop the gravel, and they come around and they get under it because they like the way it feels, which is, I've never heard that, and it was really fun
It's
to
the
kind of
influencer
practice.
fish. They just want to be on TV. They just want more screen time. Hey, Jake, I think you have one of the coolest jobs out there. And I think that your commitment to conservation and preservation, I hope that people will get involved. You know, as you mentioned, this is right in our own backyard. People can tune in and watch tomorrow night. There's also a watch party, is that correct, happening at Moody Gardens?
That's correct. So folks that want to come and see the watch party in person, they're more than welcome to. We'll do like a bit of a talk and presentation and show and tell of some of the equipment that we have at 6:30, and then the event goes live at 7. So we have a couple events going on property. So if you do come locally, just plan a little extra time ahead. You'll be parking in the parking garage and taking a little bit of a walk to get to the visitor center. But we'll have you guys on the largest indoor screen in Texas, and we're very happy to be able to do
And
that.
both of these superstars will be there at the party. So if you want to go
Yes.
check it out. And we have a little bit more time. So can we
Okay.
talk about some of the points that the documentary hits? You
Okay.
talk about lionfish. You talk about a coral lab. What else is going on?
Well, the lionfish are important because they're beautiful.
They're invasive.
But they're an invasive species. And so they're not supposed to be in the Gulf. The fish don't know that they're a bad fish that loves eating everything, and it has an insatiable appetite. And so there's no enemy for it, and it can just grow and flourish. And it's eating all the other fish in the Gulf.
no.
Yes, and so it's a
Stop
very
it.
bad thing. And so in the documentary, we talk about some steps they're doing to fix this problem.
Okay.
What were you going to say, Jake?
Well, a really fun fact is when you take 200 to 300 lionfish off a reef, you save 1 to 2 million juvenile fish over the next year. So that's the
Wow.
impact that they have, and then they reproduce every 3 to 4 weeks. It's incredible.
Yeah. When we pulled some of the lionfish out of the water and they were doing these dissections where they study them, they were just pulling out of its stomach just fish upon fish upon fish upon fish.
Oh, those
Okay.
fatties.
Yes.
Wow. Okay, Tessa, calm down. She's really fired up about this.
They need Ozempic. Okay, that's it. That's it. That's all I'll
Anthony
say.
Yanez, Jake
a great
Edwards,
idea.
thank you both so much for stopping by Houston Live, and thanks for doing this documentary.
Yeah.
Fantastic. I want to go on one of those dives in the Gulf sometime, Jake.
You got to talk to Anthony.
Oh, come on, come on. Hey, reminder, by the way, Garden in the Gulf, a reef rescue mission, premieres tomorrow night at 7 p.m. right here on KPRC 2. And as Anthony just mentioned, ahead of the special, you can tune in for the 4 and 5 p.m. newscasts where you can see a Texas first when Anthony will report live from the Moody Gardens dive tank. Hopefully he'll be able to hear in his IFB.
All goes smooth.
All going to work.
Yes, yes.